Hello everyone, it's Mark Shalero, the owner of MS Classic Cars, and the time has finally come to present you the best vehicle I've ever owned and have ever offered from the MS Classic Cars collection. You are looking at an absolutely spectacular masterpiece. This is a 1963 Chevrolet Corvette split window coupe LS3 custom riding on a Roadster Shop fast track chassis. You got to come a little closer and check this out. If you have or have not been following MS Classic Cars, please note that we only collect number 1 and number 2 condition show quality inventory. We've been doing that since inception. I'm proud to say that we have owned some of the best factory restored and custom restored cars of all time. You can reference those vehicles on our sold page at msclassiccars.com. We have almost 1,000 cars sold. Point being is I've been to hundreds of car shows. I've obviously seen some of the best cars at the shows, at auctions and so forth. I'm going to go on record and say this again until I see something that I truly feel is better. I believe this to be the best 1963 Corvette split window custom coupe that has ever been built. This vehicle has also had many notable builders of high caliber claim this is the best C2 that they've ever seen built. It's a vehicle that some people have even referenced. It looks like Singer, who does the high-end custom Porsches, it looks like Singer actually built this Corvette. And once again, I can't disagree. I'm going to go over all the details, show you a lot of the things that have been done to it. This is a non-rehearsed video. I'm just kind of sharing information that I've learned, so bear with me. The first thing I'd like to do before we get into the presentation is I would like to give credit where credit is due. I think we dealers a lot of times forget where the real blood, sweat, and tears is spent, and that is with the people who are doing these restorations. Anybody who's done them, anybody who's a car builder clearly understands what I'm talking about. It's the countless hours, it's the late nights, it's going back and forth with the customer. It's taking these cars when they're completed and bringing them on the show circuit so they get recognition like this car has done. So important that these builders get the recognition for what they do. In regards to this car was built by Hot Rod Garage, which is located in Oklahoma. The owner, Jason Smith, really and his team deserve serious accolades for what they did with this particular car. On the subject of Jason Smith and Hot Rod Garage, why this idea was kind of visionary. The design, again, it was kind of a collaboration really between Jason Smith, but I also want to give recognition to Eric Black. He is a very well-known artist. He is a vintage automobile designer, kind of puts pen to paper and comes up with these amazing pieces of artwork. So it was a collaboration of, again, Eric Black and Jason Smith on this project here. And again, the gentleman, Casey, that they were actually building the car for, his idea, which I think was absolutely brilliant, was to take an American iconic classic sports car and give it a little bit of European influence. There are so many people out there who tend to be more American with the design and what they collect, and there's a lot of people out there who are a little bit more European in the design in which they collect. I think everybody agrees that this is one of the most sexy cars ever produced. Many Corvette enthusiasts think it is the holy grail of the Corvette, the 63 split window, because it was only made for 1 year. So when you take a car that has such an elegant design, a sporty design, and you incorporate European flavor into this car, I think it's going to really shock the world for everybody who hasn't seen it and see exactly what was done that makes it look the way it does and the way it is in the interior, you know, the mechanical aspect of it, and so forth. So this car was finished in 2023. It has achieved some serious awards. Chip Foose actually gave it the Chip Foose Award, which is a really, really big deal. That's a huge credit to this car. It's won a ton of other awards from Goodguys. It was the 2023 GM Performance Iron Builder Car of the Year, which is a really big deal. Again, it's won other Goodguys awards. It was top 10 in rotting, Crown of Rotting. It was a big deal there. It also was on the cover of Wheelhub Magazine. There was a full spread about the car. It's been on multiple websites like Fuel Curve and things of that nature. But once you visit our website, msclassiccars.com, you'll see all the highlights. You'll see a full description. You'll see a gallery of absolutely stunning photos that Corey took, who works for us, who's actually doing this video. Again, we tried to capture this car in the best look that we could to present it to you here today. So let's talk about what has been done to this car. So of course, this car was originally born a 63 Corvette split window coupe, as the original VIN tag and trim tag indicate, which is in the photo gallery. This car was originally Sebring Silver Poly, which is a similar color, I guess, to what you see here today. But obviously different. So that's kind of the deal as far as that is concerned. The body obviously was taken down to raw fiberglass, and of course during that process the body modifications were made. During that time frame, all of the gaps were tightened and all of the body lines were sharpened. Okay, countless hours were spent on doing that. I normally would walk around the car with an LED flashlight to highlight scratches or imperfections or things like that. And truth be told, it has none. So that would be a waste of time going over this with a flashlight like I normally do. Again, this is the best car we've ever owned from top to bottom, and I didn't really want to waste time with that. So what I'm going to do is just kind of go over here as I walk around the vehicle. I'll hit the interior, driver's side, passenger side, and we'll end at the engine compartment. But let's look at the front here. Of course, you get this iconic hood on this car that has this really unique design here. Normally, there are hood grills that were placed here from the factory. They removed those grills to give it more of a smoother appearance. They did create a little bit of depth in here and enlarge this slightly just to give it a little bit more pronounced appearance. That was a great idea there. As we look at the front nose here, these headlights are operated with a Detroit Speed electric headlight motor, so they flip up really nicely. It does have LED headlights. That grille that you see there below the headlights, that's actually from a 1967 Corvette. They incorporated that into the front, did a beautiful job. Again, this vehicle looks like it was built at the factory. Matter of fact, it looks like it was built today. It really would compare to something of a higher end manufacturer like a Ferrari or some type of a, you know, Rolls Royce when you get into some of the appointments and so forth. But when you look at the bumpers were actually trimmed. I believe it was 1.5 inches, and they were tucked so they were closer to the body than what the original Corvette was from the factory, just again to give it a more smoother look. Absolutely stunning. I know all of the chrome work was sent out and professionally done. They did an absolutely beautiful job on that. As we make our way over here, this is the driver's front fender. I know it's really hard with a video to capture it, but again, these lines are so sharp on this car. If you look down the side, you notice that everything is really flush and the gap lines are superb. When you look at the side here, these pockets, some people refer to them as scoops, that were in the fenders from the factory. Those were also just slightly modified, so they're a little bit deeper, a little bit larger than what you would have seen from the factory. Again, those lines kind of match the line on the hood. So if you look at that pocket and you look at this pocket, it just really flows. While we're in the front here, I really want you to check out those wheels. Those are 18-inch, one-of-a-kind design wheel. They have 20 spokes here. They did use a polished chrome knockoff spinner there, which I thought really incorporated different makes and models of cars and so forth. Those were done by Atomic Machine, which is a very well-known company. This is kind of a satin bronze color with a brushed lip. Knocked it out of the park with these wheels. The wheels are wrapped with Nitto T55 G2 tires. I do have all the specifications for the tires and so forth in our description. Again, really did a great job with the wheels and tires. Again, one of a kind. When you look at this here and you get into the fit and finish work, it is absolutely second to none. Again, I've never owned a car to the caliber of this car. No matter where you look, the attention to detail is unmatched. When you look at the finish here and how beautiful this is, again, videos are only going to show so much, but it is just absolutely spectacular to see in person. You will notice that there are no windshield wipers. The cowl area, which normally would have grates here, that was completely smoothed over for a clean appearance. So I just want to make sure that everybody knows, again, that that was also work that was done while the body was being prepped. Look at these gap lines as well. Absolutely stunning. Okay. Again, the vent window trim, the door trim, the glass trim is absolutely perfection. I mean, it looks like it was just out of a high-end jewelry store. That's kind of what I'm thinking here. All of the glass is factory green tinted glass that was all replaced brand new during the build. So again, there's not one piece on this entire car that is showing any age or any patina. Again, it is just, it's amazing. These mirrors here, okay, to incorporate that European influence and twist with this car, they opted to go with a Porsche 356 mirror. The Porsche 356 is one of my top 10 favorite cars of all time. Matter of fact, we have a spectacular 65 Porsche 356 Outlaw that we are going to be listing soon for sale. So once again, the proof is in the pudding. I have a car right there. So I am really a huge fan of the Porsche 356. Great choice with that deal there. Now, when you look at the door handles, these are off of a Jaguar. These are amazing door handles, again, bringing in that European influence. Again, pay attention to these gap lines here. They are second to none. And as you make your way down the driver's door and you get into the lower rocker section, you'll see those amazing, well-designed stainless steel, again, all handmade at Hot Rod Garage, to give the car just a different look toward the bottom. And those were finished in that same satin bronze color that the wheels were, so it all kind of flows together. It really matches the body line when you go down and you look here, okay? Just a really nice thing that they did on the lower section of the car. Before we get into the back section of the car, I'm going to go ahead and open this door. I want to show you the door opens so nicely in this car. I'm sure you just noticed how lit the interior is. Well, that's because they incorporated, obviously when this car was taken down to a bare shell, they incorporated a beautiful white leather wrapped headliner that's super tight. And inside that headliner, there is 4 LED strips that slowly light up once you open the door. And there's another LED strip that actually goes down the center in the inside of the rear compartment, in between the two windows that lights up as well. And what it ultimately does here is it showcases the beautiful interior of this car. I have seen Corvettes, you know, use Barrett-Jackson as an example, and I'm talking about 63 split windows. I've seen them sell as high as 900,000, 700,000, 500,000, this kind of stuff. When you look at some of those cars, and I'm not taking anything away from those cars or those people who built them, and you start to study the cars, you study the craftsmanship of the bodywork, the modifications in which were done, were the wheels truly one-off? When you get into the bright work, you know the difference between a molding that has been professionally done and polished versus something that was maybe ordered out of a catalog. And then you get into the interiors. I feel as if this car just is so far above and beyond any Corvette that I've ever seen. It is truly what makes it special. So maybe you can come around this side here. I just want to talk a little bit about the interior. So regarding that dash, Jason Smith actually built that with his team at Hot Rod Garage. That dash was actually, again, European inspired. The idea behind that really came from the Mercedes-Benz 300 SL. I'm a huge fan of Mercedes-Benz. There's a little bit of earlier vintage Ferrari in there as well, and how it was designed, how all the gauges were incorporated. So let's talk about those gauges. Those are Dakota Digital black face gauges. You got a speedometer, tachometer, you got fuel, oil, temp, and voltage, all laid out beautifully. Over those gauges, he inscripted the word Corvette, which I think was spot on. And if you noticed, the color of the dash is the same, similar color to the appointments on the outside regarding the wheels and the lower rocker panels. The lower section of the dash was trimmed with a aluminum ribbed piece that has all the controls on it. There is a hidden door that you can see in our photo gallery that folds down, and that does expose the vintage air conditioning climate control system, which was spot on. You will notice that it also has custom vents that were integrated into that aluminum piece. And once again, when you look at the interior, you cannot but notice the Ferrari-inspired Nardi Torino wood rimmed steering wheel and matching shift knob. It does also have a tilt steering column. Again, just so tasteful. When we get into the upholstery work, Chuck Rowland Interiors did the upholstery work in this car. He covered the dash. It's so it matches the contour of the dash, matches the contour of these seats. These seats are the nicest seats we've ever had in a vehicle at MS Classic Cars. This blue leather is stunning. It's got all of this stitching, and again, they even incorporated the wood trim into the seat, into that custom full-length center console. Notice too that the interior of this car seems a little bit more spacious than the original. That's because when they redesigned the dash, that original waterfall section there was basically eliminated, and they made some other improvements to make it feel more spacious. So again, spot on with that. The door panels obviously have wood trim in them as well. Those are all handmade. The seats are all handmade. Even the German weave carpeting is blue. They just did an absolutely stunning job with this interior. Again, you got to check out all the photos on our website to truly understand what was done. Inside that functioning glove box, it does have USB ports. It has a Kenwood Bluetooth stereo unit that actually is connected to an amplifier, a subwoofer, and multiple speakers throughout. So again, great job in just making sure that this car had everything that somebody would be looking for, including power locks and power windows, etc. So again, beautiful. Look at the way that shuts. When you get into this rear quarter here, again, the body lines are super crisp. Beautiful job with that. The wheels in the back are a really good size wheel. They are a 315/40 18. To fit those wheels back there, the floors had to be fabricated and wheel tubs had to be installed to fit such a large tire back there. But again, they're 18-inch. They are a staggered wheel. Again, same brand tires, the Nitto tires and everything else, just absolutely gorgeous. When you come to the back of the car here, again, the body lines of this car, it reminds me so much of, you know, a Jaguar. It reminds me so much of just some of these higher end vehicles that you'll see, but the glass is crystal clear. The stainless is so tight against the body. Of course, you got this really beautiful body line down the center, a brand new gas cap here. When you look at the rear, okay, they really didn't finish the car until they got to the rear, even though it does have the factory style tail lights and brake lights and so forth. You'll notice that those bumpers, like the front, were trimmed that 1.5 inches. They were tucked in, but most importantly, down here is where the factory exhaust would have come out. They smoothed all of that, and underneath the license plate area here, look what they did. They incorporated the exhaust outlets in the back. Again, the craftsmanship is second to none. As we walk ourselves around the passenger side rear quarter here, it is absolutely flawless. Again, super sharp body lines. It looks like you would cut yourself on these. They're so sharp. All of the gap lines are tremendous. Again, open up the door here for this interior. You'll see how the lights come on and it really just is amazing. Look at the door jambs. Look at the fasteners and the bolts and everything that are inside those door jambs. Look at how they applied all of the rubber seals, second to none. In the detail work. I mean, look at this. Look at these drip rails. I mean, they're stunning. Look at the door strikers here and how beautifully polished they are. They do have seat belts inside there. Even the door sills are spectacular. We probably will cover those door sills with painter's tape before the car leaves to make sure that they don't get scratched up or anything. Again, Jaguar door handles, Porsche 356 mirrors, beautiful stainless trim here, and again, absolutely stunning here, the way they designed those pockets in the fenders, added those stainless steel rocker panels. I'm gonna go ahead and just flip open this hood. Now, when I open this here, I'm really speechless. I don't really know how to even describe how spectacular this is in person. Again, I'm lost for words, and that's a hard thing for me because I love to talk and love to sell, but this is just truly stunning. First thing that I notice when I look at this is I notice how they trimmed the outside of the hood in the body color. This is actually a Ferrari color. It is kind of a blue silver. It's absolutely stunning. So the outside was trimmed in that. You can even see the polished hood latch striker here. They incorporated this beautiful blue, it's kind of a matte blue finish where they did the inside of the hood in that color. And then again, they took the engine compartment and they actually fabricated a custom firewall. They custom inner fenders, radiator support, and all of that. They painted it in that same matte blue finish. And all of the appointments are done in that satin bronze color that matches the exterior theme. Again, the design work and the thought that went into this car is amazing. So let's talk real quick about the engine. This engine was purchased from GM Performance, and it was built by an extremely reputable builder named Don Hardy. So it's a Don Hardy 416 LS3 that is pushing 620 horsepower. It does have a Holley fuel management system that we got in and we played around with the tune and stuff. Mike Marcello, who works for us, he did that. He did a great job programming this car. But notice what they did here. It has dual throttle bodies. This is an Edelbrock setup here. Again, this is bringing in that Ferrari European flavor to this engine compartment. The entire engine was actually powder coated in this beautiful color of blue. You'll see on the sides there, those valve covers, they have custom emblems. They incorporated the colors of the red, white, and blue. Up top here, you can see these custom emblems were added to the top of the intake, which look spectacular. Again, the way they designed these tubes to go into the fenders here was brilliant. In the front there, you'll see some of the reservoirs. You'll even notice that the caps are finished. It does have a Billet Specialties front runner system that really dresses up the front there. You'll notice this is a bare brake master cylinder, again, that was colored the same to match everything else. It is an aluminum radiator. It does have electric dual fans. Those headers are customized. They flow into a custom-made, Hot Rod Garage also made the exhaust system that actually has stainless mufflers. Stainless Works is the brand. Again, it exits out the front. The engine is actually coupled to a Bowler Performance T56 Magnum, which is a 6-speed transmission, one of the best transmissions built. So this car does indeed perform very well on the highway at faster speeds. And it does have a McLeod clutch, which is a very well-known brand clutch. And it does also have a Lakewood QuickTime bell housing. Now, part of the chassis, when you order the Roadster Shop Fast Track chassis, you can get on their website, check it out. We did include an image within our photo gallery of what the chassis looks like for this application, and you will see the chassis come raw. They indeed powder coated this one, kind of a gray color. You'll see that in our undercarriage photos. The floors were all finished in more of like a satin black, but that chassis is the best chassis that Roadster Shop makes. It does have IRS, which is independent rear suspension, which is all part of that rear end deal in the back. You'll notice that a lot of the control arms and everything they're all tubular. It does indeed have a really good Fox coilover system as far as all of the shocks are concerned, and that chassis also comes with power rack and pinion steering. It also came with bare 14-inch rotors with 6 piston calipers all the way around. And you'll also notice in the rear, it does have a Rix tank, which is a stainless fuel tank that was incorporated into the back. It also has an e-stop emergency brake system, which is operated from a button under the driver's seat. So there's so many things that were done to this car. Again, it would take me another hour to go over every single detail. Apologize if this video was a little too long, but you can understand. I'm excited. The new owner needs to understand how special the car is. So hopefully this video was informative and you're getting as excited as what I have been to present it. I will say this, it is selling on a Bring a Trailer online auction. It's going to be selling very soon, probably within the next week or so. It will be a premium listing from what we've gathered. So please, if you have interest in this car, register with Bring a Trailer. It takes 2 seconds to do so. Get familiar with how the system works. We get very aggressive on Bring a Trailer. We have over a 90% sell-through rate, so the odds are going to be very strong this car is going to sell. For more information, please visit our website again at msclassiccars.com. We have full highlights. We have a full description. We're going to have multiple videos, not just this video here, but we're also going to have a video that Corey does and a bunch of other smaller videos. We eventually will do a driving video, so stay tuned for all that to come. Please keep an eye on our website. Do not forget to sign up for our VIP newsletter email and make sure to follow us on social media. If we don't sell you this car, our goal is to truly sell you another vehicle down the road, whether it's this or maybe it's that Porsche 356. But regardless, we appreciate your interest in this vehicle. We appreciate you watching. And as always, rock and roll.